"You are never to speak to that boy again." Those were the heavy words a wealthy millionaire hurled at his own son. Yet mere moments later, the homeless boy uttered something so profoundly unexpected that it forced the arrogant father to stop dead in his tracks. What he overheard in that quiet park would not only alter the course of one boy's life, but completely rewrite the destiny of an entire family. "You're never going to see that boy again." Tendo froze instantly. His father's tone was entirely different this time, cold, detached, and final, leaving absolutely no room for negotiation. "But why, Dad?" Adewale rose slowly from his plush armchair, towering with authority. "Because I don't want you anywhere near him. Discussion over." Tendo's heart raced with panic. That boy had quickly become his best friend, and now his father was ruthlessly demanding an end to their bond. But what Adewale didn't realize was that he was about to overhear a single sentence that would shatter his world forever. It had all started 3 weeks prior. Tendo was sitting entirely alone on a park bench. He had recently received a brand new top-tier bicycle, but he had absolutely no one to ride it with. As he watched the other children playing, his gaze drifted to a lone boy sitting quietly beneath a tree, deeply absorbed in an old, worn-out book. While the rest of the kids were shouting, this boy seemed entirely content just reading by himself. Curious, Tendo walked over. "What book is that?" The boy looked up, visibly surprised. "It's an adventure story." "Is it cooler than video games?" Tendo challenged. The boy smiled gently. "Depends on the video game." For the first time all day, Tendo genuinely laughed. "I'm Tendo." "Malik," the boy replied. From that afternoon on, the two boys met in the exact same park right after school. They talked endlessly about soccer, movies, and their dreams for the future. The more they conversed, the more Tendo realized Malik was fundamentally different. He never complained about his hardships. He never envied Tendo's expensive toys, luxury cars, or lavish family trips. Malik would simply listen, appreciate the moment, and smile. One afternoon, Tendo asked him, "What is your absolute biggest dream?" It took Malik a few thoughtful seconds to answer. "To have a place I can finally call home." Before Tendo could ask, Malik deflected, asking about Tendo's dreams instead. That mysterious response stayed heavy on Tendo's mind. But the answers arrived far sooner than he imagined. That very same week, Adewale spotted his son spending time with the homeless boy. Discovering who Malik was, the millionaire made a swift, harsh decision. That night, Adewale sat waiting sternly in the living room. "Who is that boy?" Tendo felt a sharp knot tighten in his stomach. "His name is Malik." Adewale's expression hardened into stone. "You won't be seeing him anymore. He is not good company for you." Despite the strict order, Tendo went to the park the very next day. Malik was sitting on their usual bench, but one look at his friend's tense expression told him everything. "What happened?" Malik asked softly. "My dad found out about our friendship. He told me I'm not allowed to talk to you ever again. He always wants to control every single thing. I'm tired of him deciding my life for me." That was the exact moment Malik spoke up with surprising firmness. "Don't talk about your dad like that." "What? Are you seriously defending him? He judged you without even knowing you." Malik took a deep, steady breath. "Because he's just trying to protect you. You complain because he asks where you are, because he calls to check on you, and because he wants to keep you safe from the world." Malik lowered his eyes, his voice lacing with a mature sorrow. "Because no one has ever done that for me. How I truly wish I had someone out there who cared about me like that. I'd give absolutely anything to have someone like that in my life." Tendo felt a painful tightness grip his chest. "And your parents?" "I don't even remember my mother's face," Malik whispered, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. "And I never knew my father. Sometimes I see parents arguing fiercely with their kids on the street, and I actually feel envious, because at the end of the day, at least they have someone who belongs to them." Hidden just behind the thick trees, completely unbeknownst to either of the boys, Adewale stood frozen. He had been listening to everything, every painful word, every heavy silence, every raw truth. For a fleeting instant, the millionaire felt his hardened heart waver, but he quickly shook his head. "No," he murmured quietly to himself, retreating to his luxury car. Yet, that very night, Malik's haunting words kept echoing relentlessly in his mind. "I'd give anything to have someone like that." Conscience-stricken, the wealthy businessman ordered a comprehensive background investigation on the boy, desperately wanting to prove to himself that his cynical instincts were correct. The following morning, the official report landed on his desk. The Adewale opened the crisp folder and began to read. His stern expression rapidly dissolved into shock. There were absolutely no records of theft, no run-ins with the police, no delinquency whatsoever. There was nothing but years of quiet loneliness, revolving homeless shelters, nights spent in the freezing cold, and a complete absence of family. Adewale slowly closed the folder, feeling deeply ashamed of his arrogance. Later that afternoon, Adewale drove directly to the park. Bypassing his anxious son, he looked directly at the homeless boy. "I want to talk to you, in private." Minutes later, the powerful millionaire and the homeless boy were sitting across from one another in a small, unassuming diner. Adewale observed the boy's calm demeanor before testing him. "If you could have absolutely anything in this world, what would you choose?" Adewale fully expected to hear a demand for money, a massive house, or luxury goods, but the answer that left the boy's lips was entirely different. "A family." The millionaire sat completely motionless. "A family?" "Yes," Malik said softly, "not money. Money eventually runs out, and a house without a family inside just stays entirely empty. I just wanted someone to be waiting for me to come home, someone to give me a hug." Adewale felt a thick lump form in his throat. Unable to find words, he simply said, "Come with me." He drove Malik directly to his massive estate. The young boy's eyes widened in sheer awe at the pristine pool and grand gardens, but none of those material things caught his true attention. In the center of the living room, he stopped in front of a framed photograph capturing a young Tendo riding high on his father's shoulders, both of them laughing brightly. Malik stared at the photograph for a long, silent moment. "You look truly happy," he said softly. "We are," Adewale replied, looking at the memory. Malik smiled warmly. "You can really tell." That simple sentence struck the millionaire deeper than anything else. He realized the boy wasn't admiring the sprawling mansion or the displays of wealth. He was genuinely admiring the visible love of a family. That very night, Adewale invited Malik to stay for dinner. For the first time, the three of them sat around the grand dining table together, sharing stories and laughing. As the evening progressed, Malik completely let his guard down, feeling genuinely at ease. When dinner finally concluded, Malik stood up politely to leave. "Thank you so much, sir." Adewale smiled, his demeanor completely softened. "You can call me Adewale." It was at that exact moment the millionaire realized he wasn't just performing an act of charity, he was transforming his own life just as much as the boy's. Months began to pass. The dinners became a regular routine, the visits grew frequent, and the profound friendship between the two boys flourished under Adewale's watchful, supportive eye. Until one special night, Adewale called both Malik and Tendo into the main living room. The usually unshakable millionaire seemed visibly nervous. "Malik," he began softly, his voice slightly faltering with emotion, "there was a very important question I want to ask you. Would you like to be part of this family forever?" Malik froze completely. For a few agonizing seconds, his mind couldn't comprehend the words. Heavy tears began to stream down his face. "Are you truly serious?" "I am completely serious," Adewale replied with a warm smile. Before another word could be said, Tendo leaped up, throwing his arms around his friend in a fierce, joyous hug. Malik wept uncontrollably, not out of sorrow this time, but because for the first time in his entire life, he no longer needed to sit under a lonely tree and dream of having a family. Now he finally had one to call his own.
Months later, the two inseparable friends returned to the very park where their journey had first begun, sitting under the exact same tree. But this time, neither of them was alone, and neither of them carried the weight of isolation. And whenever anyone asked the story of how they originally met, they would simply look at each other and smile, knowing that a simple chance friendship in a park had profoundly changed 3 lives forever. If this moving story touched your heart, please share it with someone special in your life. Leave a like to support the channel, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss another inspiring story worth hearing. And please, tell me in the comments down below, which country are you watching this from? I would love to know the true global reach of this beautiful journey.